Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. You're watching iAllegedly. I've got a good one for you today. I am in Oceanside, California, right outside the Oceanside Pier, which is a beautiful spot. And walking up on the main drag up here. But getting warning after warning right now, guys. And got a cool little spot right here. I want to show you guys. Right in front of the Top Gun house where they shot Top Gun. And got the motorcycle. We got the Top Gun house. Isn't that cool? So, got the little cafe up here. So, anyways, we're getting warning after warning from everybody. Larry Summers steps forward, and he's former Treasury Secretary for Clinton, and he issued a massive warning. And so much to cover right now in the economy. Please like the video, please subscribe to the channel, and don't forget we've got an email list below that you can sign up for, and if you want more exclusive content from me, there is Patreon. So this is Pacific Street. This is right above the ocean, right above the pier. All these hotels, all these high rises got built here. It's really nice. But anyways, fun spot, nice winter day out here. Think about this. Mr. Summers steps forward and said, listen, he does a Bloomberg interview and talks about how there's a problem with the Fed's plan. And the Fed's plan is not going to work because they're just going to keep throwing higher interest rates at the economy in the hope that they're going to lower interest rates and inflation, that they're going to lower inflation down to 2%. That's not going to happen, guys. And Mr. Summers had said, you know, enough is enough. We've got to talk about a reality and use a market collision or market crash. And these are his words. Now, this guy's a Harvard professor now. He's been around the block, you know, and I don't know why, but back in the day, you know, Treasury secretaries like him, it seemed like they did something. Now they're trying to sell us something, you know, like they think that everything is great. And we know it's not, guys. We know that what Janet Yellen is selling is ridiculous right now. So the economy right now, you're going to see the Fed raise interest rates. They've talked about 0.5 point. Most likely it's going to be 0.75 point at the next Fed meeting. But regardless, it's going to go up right now because things right now cannot be sustained with the latest retail numbers, how they were great. That was one thing that we were fed that nobody believes, that the retail numbers were up, but the producer price index, the wholesale inflation levels were at such a high level that we have to cut inflation and bring it down so that it's not going to destroy everything from business to families to everything. So I'm trying to navigate walking through here, guys. So he doesn't think it's going to work. And if you read the article below, I think you're going to agree with me. One thing that I'm getting an absolute kick out of is the people that are getting laid off in the tech sector, you're starting to learn these perks that these people had. You guys, these perks are unbelievable. Massages, parking, you know, people that didn't want to have cars and had free Uber and Lyft rides and things like that were available to them. Basically a limo service, guys, for employees. Hey, pick me up here, drive me here, and people that had access to cars throughout the day. Just crazy to think about, you know, all these people that had, you know, massages, they had, you had, you know, full kitchens that were available to them, you know, smoothies, all these different drinks, all these coffee drinks. And now these people are going out to the real world and they're starting to interview again and realizing that what they had was fantasy land and completely unbelievable to think about. So, you know, share your thoughts on this stuff, guys, because, you know, I worked at Solar City for a short period of time and they modeled everything after Google. And it was ridiculous the way that they did it because, you know, you can have a kitchen, you can have everybody a playroom and ping pong tables and stuff like that. But eventually you got to have a company raising, selling things and making money. That's what people just don't want to deal with. So share your thoughts on this stuff so far. One thing that's funny about these warnings is there are some people that we hear over and over again. And I think they really mean well. But man, oh man, Robert Kiyosaki, the more that this guy talks, the more he steps it up and just says that things are awful. And you've got to get yourself ready, and God have mercy on all of us with what we're about to enter right now. This is going to be the mother of all bubbles, and everything's going to be worse than could possibly be expected, and none of us will be spared. Okay. Wow. Well, what do? Well, Robert says, listen, you need to do this right now. You need to buy 3 things. You need to buy gold, you need to buy silver, and you need to buy Bitcoin. Crazy. Okay? Crazy. So, again, the extreme, over the top. Have mercy on all of us. Don't forget that. Man, I'm telling you, just people need to stay calm is what people need to do, but that's a story for another day. Now, one thing that's funny is you get views that are complete opposite of that, where you're getting people telling us that, hey, the Fed needs to stop raising interest rates because the economy is doing so well right now. Who believes that? Inflation is not cooling. You've got, regular inflation, they say at 6.4%, which I don't believe. PPI is up right now, producer price inflation, which is the wholesale inflation. And there's an argument that the Fed needs to not raise interest rates anymore because of how good the economy is right now. That's crazy, guys. It's absolutely nuts. So, one thing that's funny, think about this, is that all these tech firings are exposing people in something called overemployment. Okay? You're an IT guy, kind of a recluse. You work from your home. There are 66,000 tech people that got fired since January 1st of 2023. 66,000 people. Guys, that is a huge sum of wage earner. Now, what this is exposing is something called overemployment. Think about how crazy this is. You've got tech workers that basically have 2 jobs working for 2 competing companies, maybe even doing the same thing for these different companies, but they're fully employed. These companies don't know that you work for the other company, but this is getting exposed with this latest firing where people are losing these jobs, where guys are making double wages because they have 2 jobs. Now, again, wouldn't you be furious if you found out that one guy who's supposed to be giving you 40 hours a week is not, and he's working someplace else too, basically giving you both about 25% of their time? So that's something that's huge right now, and this has been exposed through this whole massive layoffs that are happening right now. It's crazy, guys. Absolutely crazy. Great article below about EV batteries and EV charging. We did that story yesterday about how Tesla's going to open up their EV chargers to every other company in the industry. So you're going to be able to charge everything at a Tesla station, very soon. And they're going to get $7.3 billion of funding to do such a thing. Okay? That is crazy, guys. Okay? But a woman wrote into an EV car expert and said, hey, how long do these batteries last? And it brought up a great point. Nobody knows the answer to that. Nobody knows how long these batteries are going to last. Overlooking the beachside now. So here's the problem with hybrids like Toyota, the Priuses and things like that. When the batteries get older on those cars, you run the risk that one of the cells is going to destroy the entire car battery. So if you have an issue with the car battery and it is one cell goes bad, the whole battery's dead. So this is the unknown for these electric cars. We do not know how expensive it's going to be to replace these batteries. what do you do with this right now? Okay? Just what's going to happen? Nobody wants to talk about this. Or why are you being the buzzkill, Dan? Why are you mentioning these electric vehicles and the problems with that? Because this is the beginning of this, guy, the beginning of the service nightmare that people are about to experience. So, these little bungalows down here, right in the water, kind of different. That little house right there. Right in the Pacific Ocean, guys. Totally different place to live, you know. That's on the Strand. That's what they call the Strand down there. And it's nice. You got the pier over here. Okay, you can see that. Share your thoughts on this stuff, guys, right now. Do you know of anybody that has ever had 2 jobs at the same time? I know a lot of people that have gotten laid off, and I always tell them to do the same thing. Go get a job before that money runs out, and then you're double dipping on the company. And most people are lazy. Most people don't do that. Most people wait till the end. Oh, I get paid for 6 months. I'm gonna take 6 months off. And that's a horrible way to do it. So share your thoughts on this stuff, guys, and let me know what you think about all this. We are living in great times right now. And one thing I mean by that is the headlines that we're getting right now to describe the stock market, the economy, inflation, everything is absolutely epic. There's a man at Morgan Stanley, Mike Wilson, who describes the stock market as in the death zone right now. And what this is that when you are a mountain climber and you climb to the top of the summit and you get within 3,000 feet of the summit, you run the risk of having such little air that it collapses your lungs and you're in the death zone. And that's where the stock market's at right now. We're in the death zone. So Mike Wilson from Morgan Stanley, man, oh man, bravo to that. But talking about how people do not realize how bad this is and how thin the air is up there. So people need to prepare themselves, because ever since October, when we started to see stock market increase, it was completely out of control. And people don't realize how bad this is and what kind of jeopardy they're putting themselves in, their own finances in, everything in right now. And that people need to be prepared for this, because it's just a matter of time until you get crushed during this time. Isn't that great? Awesome. I mean, Spielberg couldn't come up with this, okay? This is fantastic. This is just so creative and so awesome. So share your thoughts on this stuff, guys, but we're in the death zone now, okay? You guys think I'm doom and gloom? You should read some of these financial analysts out there, okay? So crazy, we're in the death zone, okay? Gallows, which is a crypto hedge fund, guess what, guys? They went upside down because they got stiffed by $40 million from FTX. Good old scammy Bankman-Fried. Now, I heard the greatest story yesterday about somebody who got out of FTX early. It was absolutely epic, and I'm telling you, someday this person is going to write a book about their life, and one thing that's going to be mentioned in this is how this cat bought Bitcoin incredibly low, had it at FTX, and got out because his analyst told him he didn't have a good feeling about this place. And this guy is going to go down in history as one of the geniuses of all genius by getting his money out of FTX. So that's all I got to say about that. But I am telling you guys, notice crypto. Notice how bad it is lately. Notice the instability of everything out there. It's a hedge against your mom's cooking, guys. It's a hedge against nothing right now. Crypto is its own currency, its own entity, okay? And it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, guys. I am floored at everybody's opinion on what it's a hedge against. But look at this, guys. Want to see something really cool? It's the guy's backyard. His backyard is that. Is that cool? How about that, guys? That is just groovy. That's awesome. So share your thoughts on all this stuff, guys, so far, because this is crazy. But the death zone, guys, we're in the death zone, okay? You can't make it up. So another hedge fund goes down with Sam Bankman-Fried. I think that this guy's going to skate and not do any jail time. People that have jaywalked, if you have, you know, sped, driven too fast, you know, done something in your life that's not good, you're going to do more punishment and fines than Sammy will get. That's my prediction, guys. Share your thoughts on that one. Now, one thing that we talked about in the last video was the central bank digital currency and how we're starting to hear more and more talk about this. Now Japan steps forward. Great story that was sent to me about how Japan is testing its central bank digital currency, and they did a small test last year in 2021 to see if it would work out with the payment systems and things like that, and guess what it did? So come April of this year, Japan wants to roll out a central bank digital currency. Isn't that interesting, guys? That's interesting. So you're going to see this happen more and more right now. And again, nobody practices anything. Remember that. When it comes to banking, when it comes to municipalities, governments, anything. These tests to make sure everything's good, it's done for a reason, guys. Beautiful little staircase here. The tide's way out there. The surf is very low today. It's just a beautiful spot though, guys. It really is. Friendly, nice to walk out there. I'm surprised the skimboarders out there are skimboarding more, but some other time. The next thing is the catalytic converter theft. This is amazing, okay? This is all blamed now on Russia. Think about this. This is a problem that Russia started. In New York, in the last 2 years, think about this number, 5,000 catalytic converters have been stolen from cars. Crime syndicates, crime groups, gangs, people that just want to make extra money are going there, taking a Sawzall, zip, taking the catalytic converters off of cars, and they sell them for basically the palladium that's in these cars. The crazy thing about this is that Russia, okay, is now limiting the imports of palladium to their country. People would get it from Russia, now they're not getting it. Now people normally get anywhere from low end $50 a catalytic converter to $250 on an average for these things. If you steal, 10 a night, you got yourself quite a little business there in $2,500 a day. So all these natural resources and these minerals, these elements that are in there are of serious value to people. And it's a crazy, crazy industry. Daily, there are catalytic converter thefts in Los Angeles. Great article below about this because it is absolutely out of control how bad it is. I've told you guys before, I've had 2 vehicles that had the catalytic converter stolen. The last time was a Prius, and the insurance company, they did so much damage to the car, the insurance company had to total the car at that point. So share your thoughts on this. Anybody else getting their catalytic converter stolen? And again, blame Vladimir Putin. Okay, it's all his fault. It's not the theft rings, it's the fact that Vladdy wants your palladium. Okay? Share your thoughts on this stuff, guys. This is very fitting that I am filming on the street where the Top Gun house is at, because there is an epic news story out of Barron's. I'm telling you, these titles are great. Buckle up for more turbulence. Why we are following the Top Gun way of finance. Look at the lowrider down there. Isn't that kind of cool? All jacked up. Guys, think about this, okay? They're using all these analogies for the stock market and the economy based on Top Gun. We're going to hit the hard deck, buckle up, strap in, all these things. And it's funny because, again, things are bad, guys. This isn't a game. And you can sit there and say, I'm doom and gloom, man, but I'm telling you, there is not a lack of material right now. This is just absolutely, utterly epic right now. So Good old Barron's got a great story. Take a look at that because it's solid gold, to say the least. Thought I'd walk down to the sand. You guys could see the lowrider all jacked up. It's kind of cool. He's having car trouble right now. Very cool. Speaking of cars, it was just announced that Tesla Cybertruck, they just had another meeting about that and did an investor talk and told people that all these cool features are going to be with the Cybertruck, and he anticipates it's going to be a huge cash cow for Tesla. I wonder if it will be. I want you to think about this. If you owned a business, only Elon could pull this off, where he took all these deposits and kept having backlogs and people waiting for the delivery and nobody's screaming. So the car's going to be very, very heavy. He's finally got some features that they're showing, okay, which is kind of cool. And, you know, huge 15,000 pound vehicle. He says the base price is only going to be 40 grand, which you guys, come on. You know, that's insane. He's touting 500 miles on the charge, per charge that you can get. And again, nobody really knows what that's going to look like. What is the Cybertruck really going to look like? Just the test that they've shown up. So soon they're going to have the model. They've stopped taking orders. It is sold out. Production is sold out here in the States. And they're not taking any more orders outside of North America, which is the Enzo Ferrari method. When Mr. Ferrari would make a Ferrari, he would make something like 49 of these cars. Why 49? One less than they want, you know, so it would create demand, and it was very exciting if you could get yourself on the list to get a Ferrari if you were into that stuff. California real estate has dropped an absolute ton, guys. You're seeing record drop-offs in some areas as much as 30%, to where now people are actually getting deals. People are out buying properties and scoring massive discounts on residential homes here in Southern California. This is just the beginning of this. You're going to see more and more of this in the future, you know. But again, this is the beginning of this. This is not anything that's going to slow down anytime soon. Real estate is not going to turn around anytime in the near future. I love telling you guys that because the realtors, oh my gosh. Dan, you don't know what you're talking about. What industry is losing more professionals than anybody else? Other than the tech sector, the only sector that has lost more jobs this year is the tech sector. Number two, real estate agents right now. Gonna go back and move in with mom, guys. Okay? Very interesting, guys. Share your thoughts on this stuff. Man, oh man, you cannot make up these awesome headlines. The one and only Peter Schiff. He steps forward and says the greatest line ever, and that is the Fed brought a knife to an inflation gunfight. Great headline, okay? Read it below. But the article basically covers the fact that CPI, our core inflation, is through the roof. It's an absolute mess, and nobody wants to look at that because this is something that the Fed, number one, is not going to tame, and number two, does not have the ability to tame. Now, with the last inflation report, gold dropped 20 bucks an ounce, but he still thinks long term for gold, it's going to be awesome. So, again, I love Peter Schiff. I'm going to have him on my show someday. We're just going to talk the economy and business in general. I cannot wait for that. And, looking forward to things like that in the future. We got a bunch of cool stuff happening on the channel. Next thing is Meta, good old Facebook. They are about to fire more and more people because what they did was they went through HR and they did performance reviews. And there are thousands of employees that have poor performance reviews, and their time is limited at Facebook. Really? That's shocking. Marky Mark does not like these people. All these staircases that go down to the beach. It's just kind of a cool spot. You guys can see where I'm at up on Pacific. We got all the hotels up here now. Kind of looks like Miami when you think about it. Only a lot cheaper. So, very cool spot. Have you ever had a PIP plan put on you? This is a performance improvement plan, usually through your HR department when you work at a company. I talked about this story when I worked at a company and they gave me a PIP, and I hated the guy I worked for, and he's an idiot. The problem with it is that this is a way of getting somebody fired. Everybody in HR told me something that was great. The second you get this, go look for another job. It's done. You're finished. You're done. All these people that are working at Facebook right now, Meta, Instagram, your mom, whatever you want to call it these days, they're done right now. And they're going through and they're telling people, look at the weaknesses, write them up for this, and give them poor performance reviews. So they're getting performance reviews that are bad, and these PIP programs that they're on, are not going to work, guys. It's just going to get, it's designed to fire people. So people don't want to admit that that's what happens. So share your thoughts on this stuff. I always love hearing this stuff because whenever I talk about things like this, the HR professionals who generally don't get talked to a lot, they step forward and give us all this great content. So let me know what you guys think about this. I'm going to finish this video with these last two stories. And great story about how real estate in the United States may be overvalued by $237 billion. Whoa, $237 billion overpriced real estate in the United States. If that's the case, people are going to borrow themselves to oblivion just to get by, and people shouldn't be buying houses if they're overvalued by $237 billion. They blame flood zones for this, which I think is ridiculous. Other thing is, here in California, they passed a law that by 2035, you cannot have a gas-powered lawnmower, okay? So there's a company out there called Graze. Graze has been open 6 years. They're a startup that is an electric lawnmower company, okay? I got a question for you. If you have something that basically cuts an acre and you own 40 acres, what do? Well, if you have a gas-powered motor, you go and get more gas and you put that in, cut the lawn. Guess what happens if you don't have that and you have an electric-powered lawnmower? You get a wait, okay? Plus, every landscaper that I've talked to, everybody at the Montage, everybody that works and runs their life by cutting anything, cleaning up yards, anything, says that the electric lawnmowers suck. Now, one thing that people have told me is that these electric lawnmowers, some of them, they have to use because they go to wealthy people. They don't like the noise. They don't like to be disturbed because their hearing sensitivity is different than yours and mine. They're more important than us. Just ask them because they're rich, and they'll tell you. Yes, the world is ridiculous. Lots of crazy headlines today. Please don't forget to hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Onward and upward, guys. I will see you guys very soon. Bunch of cool stuff coming that I cannot wait to share. Okay?